All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming, and what I hope is now going to be the last full lecture on the Vanilla Java BMI program. As I mentioned last time, what's left is the on-calculate, the on-clear form, the on-open overlay. Check something real quick. I think we just called it open overlay. No on there. And the show alert. Plus our main. All right, so this is the code that runs when the calculate BMI button is clicked. Simple enough. All right. So integer height equals parse int or null height field dot get text. Let's just copy that because that's going to be weight. And I'm not going to get into using the word integer. Sorry, thought I had my phone off. But I'm not going to get into using integer versus int, etc. It has to do with classes and stuff, and I just don't have it in me to do that. So, all right, so first we want to validate the height, and then a little later we'll want to validate the weight. We're going to do basically the same thing, as you probably guessed. So if not BMI state dot is valid height. So in other words, if it's not valid, we're going to call a show alert. And we'll just put a message in there that says, please enter a valid height between, let's use our constants here. We have them, so what the heck. BMI state dot max height. That's got to be min height, and BMI state dot max height. Height field dot set text. Let's just remove what's there. And then let's request the focus. And we'll return. So I'm going to grab this, because again, all we have to do is change this, so that'll be a W. Please enter a valid weight between the minimum weight and the maximum weight. Weight field dot set text. Weight field dot request focus. And let's just be a little nicer with our spacing here. So there, and return. So if we made it this far, a valid height and a valid weight were inputted. So calculate the BMI. Double BMI equals BMI state dot calculate BMI, and we'll pass in the height and the weight. Simple enough. Now calculate the BMI status. So string status equals BMI state dot, this is a mistake here, it should be calculate, not calculate, calculate. So that must be what I called it in there, so I'll have to fix that. Calculate, it's not calculate, it's a, I guess it is, calculate BMI status, and it'll need the BMI. Now let's fix this quickly by going back to our main, to our BMI state, and make that calculate BMI and calculate BMI status. Good. File, save all. Let's go back to main. All right, that'll be fixed in just a second. So, all right, so now we've got everything. So let's update the user interface with the BMI and the BMI status. That's 2F, not a WF. So I want it to 2 decimal places. Okay. And BMI cat label dot set text to category plus status. That's it for that one. Now it's giving me errors here. I'm not sure why. That one I know why. It says cannot be referenced. Semicolon. Here we go. All right. Let's go on to the clear form. So we put here, just going to be consistent here. This is the code that runs when the clear form button is clicked. This will be the code that runs when the show totals button is clicked. We'll do that in a minute. Okay, this will be helper function for a generic alert message. All right, we're going to do all those right now. So let's do the clear form first. Height field dot set text to nothing. Weight field, geez Louise, Jeff, dot set text to nothing. The value label dot set text to, we don't want it to be nothing, we want that to be a 0. Remember, we want that to always have a value in there. And the category We just want that to say category, like that. That's that. Now let's do the overlay. Notice again, this is wrong. Got to fix that. So that's got to be a small I. That's now correct. It won't show it, not until we compile. So this is dot set visible to true. That opens up the overlay. All right. This is the show alert. JOption pane dot show message dialog. This message invalid input. JOption pane dot warning message. Again, that's there we go. All right, now we've got main. Now we're going to call an invoke later here, and that's because swing components are not considered to be thread safe. What that means is it's not safe to build or modify them from any thread. All right, so we're taking control over how this runs, for lack of better words. Swing utilities dot invoke later. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Doesn't like something in there, so let's do a file, save all, good gravy, and let's try to run it. I know it's not going to run, but that's okay. Start debugging. Does not match the name. That actually isn't too bad, so. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to do a screenshot, and then paste it into Paint. All right, and I'm going to attempt to debug this, come up with a list of my errors and how to fix my errors, okay? And then I'll come back with that on the next video, and hopefully that'll be the last one for this, and we can start on the payroll. Thanks.